Hiya, we're in the park. We've bought a Mavic Pro off eBay, so this is original Mavic Pro, and we're just wondering, is it a good idea? Okay, so we've got the Mavic Pro. I got it off eBay. The guy was quite local actually in the end. I didn't expect it to be. Basically, it looks in relatively good overall condition. The only downside was he sent it without, basically sent it with the batteries. He sent it with some of the Flymore combo that was part of it, but it was missing we were missing the mains charger and the propellers, which he was sending with the case that he bought for it. So hopefully that will arrive soon. But in the meantime, we've got basically a set of relatively well reviewed props off Amazon, and I bought he did send us the car charger for the batteries, and basically I found an adapter on Amazon that also had reasonable reviews, because you have to be careful, which converted our mains kind of output. Basically it's a mains charger that can output to a cigarette lighter socket, and basically I use the DJI car adapter to basically charge it, and the batteries have charged up. But one thing to be careful of buying on eBay or anywhere, two of the batteries are in pretty good condition. One's in brilliant condition. I think that's the one he's been using all the time. The second battery was slightly puffed up. The third battery was totally puffed up and wouldn't charge, so you have to be very careful. Now, I don't think I'm going to send it back, because I don't think he was aware that that battery was iffy, and I think overall the drone's in good condition. Obviously if the other stuff doesn't arrive, we'll have to consider again. But basically that's just one thing to watch out for, and one thing to watch out for if you do buy a Flymore combo. Just make sure that you look after your batteries, because it's cool to have 3 batteries, but sometimes that can seem really good, but you kind of use one of them all the time, and then the other 2 just kind of disintegrate a little bit, and I think that's what's kind of occurred here. So, it was kind of all boxed up nicely. I don't think he was aware, but anyway, let's get this drone recording. And one thing I think, again, he put a 128 gig SD card, he left that in there, so I'm surprised that he left such a decent sized storage. So anyway, I don't think he was dodgy. I think he was just here we go. Right, it's actually quite hard on this controller to here we go. Right, taking off. Yeah, see, my prop, I did a test with it yesterday just to make sure the props look good, and they do, I think. Do you want to go up a bit, do you? It's it's really good. I mean, it's in good condition, it's hovering well. We've got no battery warnings on the controller here, on the app. I think it looks pretty good. I think we're in good nick. So, I mean, do you want to come back and I'll just spin around and kind of have a look at the drone? Getting a little bit of gimbal shake, I'd say. Now, I think the gimbal shake is being caused by the propellers. These are like the low noise alternative propellers that they they're not DJI ones, they're aftermarket ones, but they're based on the Mavic Pro Platinum low noise propellers, and although it's holding quite well in the sky there, I think even with the DJI ones you get a bit of shake on the propellers, but everything looked good. I did quite a lot of checking out the drone before I brought it out. I started up the motors and stuff. The guy actually left a bit of the propeller in the motor, so luckily I was able to get that out. I had the right screwdrivers to get it out. So yeah, I know you're thinking this guy just seems worse every minute that I describe more about it, but the drone seems okay. We don't want to throw away a good second-hand drone. But basically, yeah, we'll take it out, we'll have a look around, and I just want to do a quick flight. So this is the first sort of proper flight I'm doing with this, and it's going up, no problem. I tried it out yesterday. I had it hovering just to make sure that the props seemed okay, There's a little bit of shake in the gimbal when it turns, but I don't think it's terrible. But basically, we're just looking over the park. Okay, is everything all right with it? Let's hope so. We shall find out now. But yes, it looks like it's flying okay. So just want to kind of take it over this way. But yeah, I did a bit of a flight test yesterday before this with, you know, just checking it out, making sure that it wasn't in bad. But yeah, we really wanted to know, because this is kind of, again, another thing that beginners, you know, kind of can look at, whether you should look at a sort of used drone, because obviously the Mavic Pro, when it was new, was a lot of money. So, you know, if you can pick one off eBay for a very good deal, then, you know, you're looking at a sort of, you know, I should drop the you know, bring the camera back up. You're looking at a good, you know, you're looking at a good drone really for lower money now, because obviously Mavic 2 Pro's out, you know, and you know, everything seems to be all right with it. It seems to be doing okay. I mean, I don't want to be too confident, but we're filming in 4K 30. Everything seems all good. I've only got it in auto settings. One thing that's different about these drones in comparison to things like the Fimi, there's like kind of focus on them. You've got manual focus, autofocus. So, you know, like on a camera where you would tap to kind of focus on things, that's what this drone does. It's more like a kind of like a real camera, you know, it's more of a proper camera drone rather than something that's got everything in focus all the time, some of the lower cost drones. So you know, that's another thing to bear in mind. You know, will you get better picture quality? You know, of course, DJI got a very good reputation around their picture quality. So, you know, is it worth kind of buying something that, you know, might be a bit, you know, potentially ropey from a lower brand? I mean, I'm not to say that I'm not happy with my drones, like my Fimi and what have you. I certainly wasn't happy with the Xeno 2. But basically this drone is, you know, it's pretty good, and it comes with like extra things. So you've got like obstacle avoidance, you know, it's got front and down sensors for obstacle avoidance. So, and it has things like optical flow, a lot of that stuff that you pay quite a bit more extra money for in a sort of you know, cheaper drone. So I think, you know, your choices are really, you know, if you're looking at one of these, you're probably going to be in the same market, the same price as like a Fimi or something like that. You may want to spend a bit extra and get a Mavic Air 2. They're pretty good. They've got front and back obstacle avoidance sensors, so you're getting a bit more with that. But yeah, I mean, it's flying around no problem. Let's put the camera down. It'll be very, you know, this is the first time I've used a Mavic Pro, so I'm very interested in what the footage is going to look like. Is it going to be much different from other DJI drones that I've been used to? So yeah, you know, what's it going to be like? So I'm very interested basically in whether or not, you know, it's worth having a sort of second-hand Mavic Pro versus something like a new Fimi. So, you know, so far it's going pretty well. It's flying around the park no problem. You know, and I'm pretty happy with it. This can do about, I think, 40 miles an hour top speed. But yeah, it's just, you know, it's flying around okay, and until we see the footage, we won't know too much whether we're getting much gimbal shaking and the like. But yeah, high wind velocity. So basically, it's definitely the wind. So that's interesting. We've only really ever seen that on the Mavic Mini before, and the Mavic Mini 2. So I think we have seen it on the Mavic Air as well. But yeah, it's, you know, it's a nice day, nice sunny day in the park. I'll be interested to see what this footage looks like when we get back. Horizon looks a bit tilted there, so you know, it's not to say that just things like the Fimi have issues with tilted horizons there, so that's interesting to me as well. But yes, this is land in a safe space. I might bring it back down a little bit. Maybe that will just bring away the wind warning. I want to be careful because I don't want to go putting it near or into a tree. Now we forgot the landing pad, so we can't try out the precision landing, but we believe it has it. So let's go forward. But yeah, I mean, basically it's flying pretty well. I'm pretty happy with that. I think, you know, it's looking good. We have got like a high wind warning, but you know, and it's not too windy actually, but we do have to be careful because we're using aftermarket props. Although they had relatively good reviews, you just have to be a bit careful. I mean, we'll be glad when we get our DJI props through from the guy. So unfortunately I wasn't able to get any because you know, it's Christmas, and basically, you know, they're not, you know, we couldn't get any of these things delivered. You know, we couldn't get another charger, not that we wanted to pay for another charger really, because they're not cheap. You know, you're talking around £40, I'm guessing $40 in America on eBay for one. So yeah, you have to be sort of, you know, we don't want to overspend on this, you know, but hopefully the other package will turn up after Christmas. I don't know why he didn't send the 2 packages at the same pace, but he sent one next day and one sort of second class, which will basically come after Christmas now. But yeah, I think we're quite happy. Have we got any? I wonder if we've got some intelligent flight mode. So I'm gonna get it to return home now. So let's see what we can do. One downside actually with this is that I don't know if you've got like a smaller phone, but basically one downside is it's quite hard to get to. So return home. Right, so it's going to return home now. Yeah, so basically it's just a little bit harder to basically get your, you know, get your finger underneath the controller. And it was the same issue with the Mini 2, right? So it's right over us now. It's coming back to us. So yeah, it was the same problem with the Mini 2, not the Mini 2, sorry, the Mini 1, and I'm guessing with the Mavic Air, although I haven't got a Mavic Air. But basically, you know, these controllers, they're a little bit difficult to get your fingers to stuff, so that's why they've kind of redesigned it. But no, we haven't had any problems with you know, connectivity to the drone, so that's one good thing. Right, so it's coming back down, and it's not far off where I think we started. So I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, that's pretty amazing. I don't think we've seen the Fimi. Well, the Fimi has done precision landing, but only with the setting turned on. This hasn't got the setting turned on, so it doesn't know where it took off from. You know, apart from its GPS position, it's not looking for the landing pad. So that's pretty amazing. I'm pretty happy with that. That's pretty good. That's basically landed, I think, almost exactly where we took off from. But what I wanted to do was just try out one of the intelligent flight modes while I'm here. So I'm going to let it take off again. Right, here we go. So let's take it off. And again, even with these sort of aftermarket propellers, it really is holding its place, isn't it? I was saying about obstacle, it's basically spotted that Rachel and Emily are in front of it. But yeah, basically, I want to kind of turn it towards me and maybe drop the camera down towards me. Is that a good position? I don't know if the sun's going to wipe me out quite a bit, maybe. And I just want to try out some of the modes. So you've got kind of like, you've got active track on this as well. So you know, these are good features that, you know, in a drone you would pay quite a bit of money for. So let's just active track me a second. Right, what's it doing? It's set to go. So is it going to follow me? It is, you know. And the gimbals, yeah, it has lost me. It may not be quite as refined as the Mavic Air, but let's have a look. Basically, I'm going to try and track me again. Right, here we go. Subject too close. Okay, go. Right, so let's see if it can follow me now. Is it coming? It is coming. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so, you know, for basically, you know, sort of a similar price, so in fact maybe less than the Fimi, you know, you can get a second-hand drone that basically is pretty cool. And I mean, a Mavic Mavic Pro is like, you know, it's kind of royalty in drones, isn't it? Because of the, I mean, I've probably got the white balance all set wrong and stuff. I'm gonna have to learn more about using the camera on this drone, but it is walking around and it is following me. And I don't think we really got that kind of, I don't know, nothing has been as good as this so far, apart from maybe the Mavic Air 2. You know, but yeah, that is following me no problem, and pretty impressive. So basically, second-hand drone doesn't mean, you know, that it's bad, and it can save you a bit of money. And don't forget, a lot of these parts are serviceable, so you can get new batteries, you know, you can get, you know, you can get new props for it, you can get, you know, a lot of the stuff that can kind of wear, you can replace. So, you know, that's definitely a good thing. Right, I'm gonna turn off that now, if I can get my finger anywhere near the actual button, of course. It makes it hard to do, basically. Hang on. Yeah, that is the downside of these a little bit, that, you know, you kind of... Right, so here we go. I'm going to go into a different mode now. I'm going to do... you can do a quick shot. So let me just move this forward, because I want it kind of away. I want to try and turn it away from me. Well, hang on. I want to kind of quick shot, enter recording stop, so it will stop. Okay, so quick shot. Right, I want to select that. Oh, hang on, and I want to do a droney, which is already set to. Click OK. So you've got to do it in an open area, but there's nothing behind it, so it should do okay. So it should now do a droney. Oh, that just missed the fence. So quite lucky there, just missed the fence. I didn't expect it to be so horizontal and back. What I'm going to do, yeah, it's looking good, it's coming back. Let's just hope again it doesn't go near the, no, it's gone higher this time, so it's coming back. It's pretty cool. Coming right back down to me. I tell you what, this drone just feels really nice and smooth in the air. I really like that. I tell you, you know, it feels a lot smoother than the other drones that I've tried that are non-DJI. So I think, you know, there is something definitely, you know, and you've got to remember these were that kind of really good drones on their, you know, at their time. So, you know, this was released in 2016, and basically it's an incredibly capable drone for the money you're paying, you know. So, you know, it's definitely worth thinking about getting something like a second-hand drone, rather if you're restricted on budget and you can't get a Mavic Pro 2, you know, 2 Pro, or a Mavic Air 2. I mean, the Mavic Air 2, you know, what we got this drone for about £500. A Mavic Air 2, if you kind of shop around and look for it, you might, I think our Mavic Air 2 we managed to get for about 670 odd pounds, was it, Rach? It was something like that. So, I mean, basically, you know, I think, you know, there is a little bit, it costs a bit more. I don't know if it does tap to focus and that kind of stuff, so I don't know if I've really tested that kind of stuff out, but I noticed straight away on this drone, you know, you use a different app, you use the Go app rather than the Fly app. It just feels a little bit more professional, and yeah, it's moving around no problem, you know, in close quarters to you. I wonder if I think it should avoid me. You know, it should like kind of fly over my head like that, you know, it should avoid me basically, because it knows I don't want to fly it right at me, but I'm going to kind of go towards that. It's spotted an obstacle, it knows I'm there, and it's flying very slowly towards me now. I had the full stick pressed in and it was flying slowly towards me. It knows there's an obstacle. So that's another great thing that you're going to get with a drone that basically was much more expensive when new, and that you're basically getting, in fact there's the camera, I don't think the camera, because we're in the quick shot mode, we need to go back into normal mode. How do I do that? Go back into normal mode, turn the camera back on, but yeah, basically, I don't know, you know, maybe you couldn't see that, but let me just back it off a bit, and then I'm going to fly towards me. But basically, I've done full stick and it knows I'm there. It will not let me, it will not fly into me. It's not allowing me to fly at me. So, you know, look at that. There are settings, I believe, to get it to go round you. But yeah, it knows there's an obstacle. It doesn't like that I'm there. Do you know what I mean? It's moaning on the screen, which you can probably see. But yeah, it's really maneuverable, you know, and like I said, there's a lot of stuff on it that is serviceable. So, you know, you can kind of buy a second-hand one and then do little fixes. I mean, we paid, you know, it's about £8 or £9, right? So it's got low battery, so it's not happy. It wants to kind of land now. So basically, we should probably land it. So I'm going to land it. Woohoo! Yep, that shook the gimbal, but that was more because it landed. So I've turned off the recording. Yeah, I mean, basically, I think for, you know, for something similar to what we paid for the Femi, I think the Femi we paid under £400, and this was kind of 500. You could probably get better deals if you shop around. Maybe in the US they're cheaper, I don't know. It's got a fan. It's very premium. You can see the quality of it. I mean, to be honest, the Femi kind of, you know, it has that feeling underneath of like metal. They've kind of definitely tried to replicate the kind of quality of the Mavic a little bit. But yeah, I think, I don't know, there's just something about it where I think that it's worth considering getting a second-hand drone instead of spending like kind of big money or spending similar money actually on another kind of beginner drone, which won't have the obstacle avoidance. It won't have some of the like kind of cool features that these drones have. It won't have the kind of decent camera in it. So yeah, I think there's definitely an argument. I'm just checking over the propellers, making sure they're all good. They all look good. I think, you know, that it's definitely worth picking one of these up. And of course you can get new, you know, you can get batteries for it, you can get new propellers for it. I mean, I'd recommend DJI ones really. It was kind of a bit of, we're not going to get this to fly at all if we don't get some aftermarkets, unless we wait quite a bit for DJI ones to become available. But we should get our original props with this. But yeah, I think that's an amazing little drone for basically, you know, and yeah, when it was new, it would have been twice the price, or well, more than twice the price. So it's got a great reputation. It's got good solid software. It's a good solid drone, and I think you should definitely consider it, potentially over buying a cheaper brand drone. So yeah, you know, let me know what you think in the comments, whether you agree or not. You know, and basically, thanks very much for watching. You know, if you can click the like button, that'd be great. If you can subscribe, that'd be brilliant too. If you're already subscribed, please tell your friends about us. And thanks very much for watching. See you again in the next one.